A new fishing rod. It's an Abu Garcia, old sort of school, modern sort of version. Celebrate of the 100 years that Abu Garcia have been doing it all. And it wasn't too expensive, and the one I had was a travel rod, and it was a little bit clumsy, so I just decided to upgrade. So we've just rigged up a small dead bait. I've got a few leads above it. This is the rod. This is actually the first cast. Let me just tighten up the Sauron. Tighten her up a little bit. Here we go. It's ever so light. Let's see what she's like. She feels nice. So I've got my glasses on today. Bugger, that's quite deep down there. Come here, let's just whack it out. Straight out in front for a start. So that's just, come here. Relatively deep. Try and stand back a little bit. The other rod was 10 foot. Didn't disagree with the 10 foot. The roach is still pretty frozen, really, which is not ideal. But there's a hungry pike down there. I don't think they'll think twice. So all in all, that's put a little bit of cotton around the top treble as well, just to. So we're just. This is a 15 to 45 gram, I think. So it's pretty similar to the other one I had. Had a heavy frost last night, so I'm guessing they'll be hungry. I'm guessing a fish will be nice on this rod. It didn't break the bank either. Sort of middle range of a sort of a top end rod. It's got some good rings, and reminds me of sort of the very first sort of rods I used to have when I was sort of a teenager. So I couldn't resist it. I couldn't resist just getting it. So what we'll do on this next take, we'll just give the dead bait get a little bit of one of these, just gently sort of just start to loosen it a bit. Still very frozen. So that's loosened it a little bit. And check it out there. Let it sink a bit. Get a few twitches. This one feels nice, this rod. There's a horrible branch down there. I'm just going to wait to see if I do actually get a take, because if I get one, I might just try and scoop it out, because that looks like that'd be a real problem on a reasonable fish. Now I think I've got a take. I think I've got a take. Pike's grabbed it. There he is. Oh, he's let go of it. He's let go of it. Oh, he's still there. He's grabbed it again. He's just fucking grabbed it again. Silly things, aren't they? Let's pull that. He's just come back and grabbed it again. I don't know if you can see it on there. just want to grab this branch without falling in. He's just grabbed it again. Look at that. He's on. Dead bait's off. It's only a small one. There he is. Only a small one. Dead bait's on the bottom. Let's just get him out so he don't spook the swim too much, if we can. Nice little pike. He's just on the bottom treble. He's in there. Might unhook himself. Just leave him there like that. He's just twisted like a crocodile. Where's the mat? There's the mat. So, with regards to the rod, so far so good. I'm missing the 10-foot rod I had, but only because it's 10 foot. This is a lot lighter. It's lovely to hold. It's very light. It's got plenty of power in it. It's 15 to 45 gram. Retails at about 59 quid, something like that, 60 quid. Might better get it for 55, 50 somewhere. Some of the mud. There's plenty of water in here. So yeah, the rod is very I can see the dead bait there just being twitched. It's quite shallow here. What's it? That's gone in the bottom. Well, that's a fish. It's quite shallow here, so I think that's in the bottom. Waiting for a little fish nod. No. Let's pull it out. It's always the same, you see. Once that hits bottom, that's the retrieve over with. You have to just pull up all back and start again. With that last fish I had, he come off and then just went back to the dead bait again. He didn't give a shit that he had felt all the resistance and everything. So there's a bit of snot on this. Let's get all the snot off. A little bit of cotton around the head, because they do have a habit of probably only lasting at the most 20 odd casts. They start to disintegrate. We've had a frost, so now we've had that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to whack it out not too far away. I'm not going to let it sink too much. I know it's quite shallow. Keep the rod high and just a sort of more of a just under the surface. Just under the surface. So it must have been like a weed patch or something there. So there's another one over there I can see. See. Just sort of keeping it up high. See, once it goes into a bit of weed, it will then sort of draw into the main bit of weed. Sometimes it will just scoot through and you get away with it. But I've got my Polaroids on so I can see if a pike starts to follow it. Sometimes they'll just come in right at the last minute for a look, and then you ain't got to cast it too far out. But heavy frost we've had, and last weekend a nice 10-pounder from the other side. Yeah, there's two people on that, on the other side there. It's quite a shallow swim. Good tench fishery here. So we're just sort of trying to tempt one, if there's one there. But very pleased with the rod. Anyone who's thinking of getting it, it's the 100 years celebratory thing. It's good for bass. It's going to be fine for popper fishing. You know, any lures you want. That's not. Don't bust the bank. It's light like them other rods as well. It's got plenty of power for casting heavier lures, up to 45 gram. It's got a lovely little tip on it. So I would seriously recommend it. The rings are pretty good. I think they're called Seaguide rings. This is made in China, but it's, you know, it's a reasonable standard. Abu wouldn't, you know. So that's gone in the weed again. Fucking thing. Once it gets a bit of shit round it, that's good night, Irene. Okay. Yeah, so the reel seat's pretty good, as you can see there. That's aluminium, and it's got two sort of tighteners there, and that's really nice to hold as well. It's Cork handle, obviously. It's got a little clip to put your hook in there. And I did notice when you join the spigot, when you join the top half of the rod to the second part of the rod, that bit there, that's a real nice sort of close, tight sort of fit, which almost is good a quality as a real top end rod. So I've just switched over to a smelt because I have actually managed to lose a set of gear in the bush. And the rod, you know, yanked full over. There's plenty of backbone in it to set a hook for pike or salmon or bass or anything like that. So I'm just had to tie on a different rig, which I'd used previously. I'm just going to let it sink a little bit. It's quite deep out there. Plus we've had some flood water come from the river. So just tried this side. I've tried that side. Just steady retrieving. I'm just going to try this side, and then we're going to move to a different swim. So 9 foot's okay. 10 foot gives you obviously an extra foot to get out past the reeds and stuff like that. But I'm not sure what they do in this particular rod. They do an 8 foot version. I do a 7 foot version as well. They do a sort of a 7 to 28 gram rod as well, but I've already got one of those. So I find for pike, spinning for pike, it's nice to have a little bit of backbone just to set those hooks. But yeah, for the money, if you're just looking for a spinning rod, you know, which can take the knocks, you know, ain't gonna break the bank, saves buggering up a really expensive rod for doing this kind of thing. Yeah, that ain't bad at all. Isn't bad at all. It really does tick all the boxes. I mean, I do have a Major Craft, a 200 quidder, and that, you know, they are really nice. But this, I'll be brutally honest, is you know, it's pretty damn good for the money. It really is. You know, this would probably cast as far as that rod. It's certainly as light as it. So just struggling to latch onto a fish here. I've had one this morning, but this weed, this water, don't usually fish this side, so I'm just going to go to the other. I'm going to fish that other bank over there. I usually get a foo off that shallower over there. I usually get a foo there in the weed, but I was just thinking, because we've had a frost and we've had a bit of ice on some of the lakes, they might just be in some deeper water. So I'll just give it one more go out here, because this is, if I was going to get a big one, I'd say it'd come from this area, or biggish one anyway. So you just got, because it's quite deep, you just got to let it sort of sink a bit. So I'm going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's enough. Don't want it to get caught in the weed. And just twitching it. The bait's still a bit sort of frozen, but I find if they're there, they'll take a frozen one. It's just that when it's defrosted, you get a better action from the tail and the body as it sort of spins. But usually, if you can put this sort of a dead bait, this sort of a bait near them, especially in clear water, if they're in the mood. I mean, we had one this morning straight away. It wasn't very big, but it's not uncommon to get a shed load of them. So I'm just gonna. The casting of the rod, it's it's fine for this, absolutely fine. Obviously I'm not using braids, so I don't know what braids like with it, but I'm sure it'd be alright. But yeah, there's not much more I can say really. The whipping's good. It's yeah, the rings are pretty good. I think they're stainless steel, corrosion resistant, so to speak. So it's a rod which is going to last a lot of years. You know, it's going to stay in your cupboard for 30 odd years, as long as you don't tread on it or trap it in a car door and bust it that way. You know, so if you want something just to spin for pike, I mean, you could dead bait with this, you can ledger with this rod, no problem. There's plenty of backbone there to set the old hooks. Right, no one's coming to town, so I'm going to move spots. River's full. River's full. Plenty of flow there. Cool, yeah. The swims are full, look. Plenty of water in here. Our fish has grabbed it. Our fish has grabbed it. Not too tight, I don't know what we got. Oh, he's off. He's bloody off. He's bloody off. There he is. Bastard. Fish has got it. Fish has got it. So this is the Abu 9 foot. 15 to 45. Small roach, size 6 hooks. And he's now moving off with it. He's not a big fish. Just got one treble on this rig, so I'm giving it a bit more time. It's a drag light, I don't want it too tight. I'll just hold it. I'll probably get off because I didn't do that very well. Yeah, didn't do that very well at all. No, he's still there. Oh, it's a nice fish. Oh, it's quite a good pike. That's quite a good pike. He'll probably get off because he's only got one. That's 10. That's £10. That's a bit of luck. That's a bit of luck. £9, something like that. £10 probably. He ain't woke up yet. He'll probably get off because I fucking... No, he's gone. Fuck it. I knew it. That's a shame. He was about 10, he was. Well, the pike's grabbed it. Whether it's the same fish or what, I don't know. Could be the same fish. Probably the same fish. It's about 10 or, well, no, I'd say it's about 7. Something like that probably. He's in. He's in. Let's just release this off. I think it's the same fish. What just done me? I don't know how big he is. Oh, he's... I'd say he's 8. Maybe 9. Right, this is the key bit. Not breaking the bloody rod. So, where people can't tread on it. There's pike. Yeah, he's about sort of, I think he's about 8. Something like that. Nice fish. No. Maybe 7. There It's full of beans, so I expect them to do his fireworks. But yeah, there he is. Well, he's full of beans, so he might jump. Let's do him like this. There he goes. Oh, he's gone over there. He went from there, right over there. Well, we got him in the end anyway. There's a pike just right down here in front of me. I don't know if you can see it, but he's been attacked by something. He's got wounds in the top of his body. It's obviously by an otter, and he's just hanging up in the corner here, just sort of, I suppose you don't know what's going on. It's a little pike. I've noticed that before. There's little pike sort of been hauled out, but he's just sitting there. He'll probably scamper off if I get a bit closer. He's just down here. I can see some white wounds of where he's got some teeth marks. His eye looks all fucked up as well. Looks like he's lost his eye as well. He's alive because his tail's going, but he's not scared of me. He's gone now. He's gone now. Poor little thing. Pike has grabbed it. Now I've got this got caught up in a thorn bush earlier on, so this line might have weak points in it, and so I need to change over. So I think we're going to play ball with this. Let's see what we got. Keeping it tight because it's barbless hooks. This feels quite a good fish. Oh, he's let go. Fuck it. Bastard. He was quite a good fish. Oh, you. He's gone. Right, let's get the hooks out of him. Yep, I got another one there. Small head. Don't bite me. Might mess him in there. He's away. He's away. So there we go, people. There we go. A very, very hard day. A real severe frost, and I landed 3 fish, and I probably those 3 fish, 2 of them I had previously had on, and then I came back to them 10 minutes later, due to complications with the rig and various bits and pieces, really. Fishing's all about confidence, and if you ain't got confidence in your gear for some reason, whether it got snagged up and it got weak or this is that and the other, you know, it's but anyway, we stuck at it. I mean, on a good day I could, oh, there's another bloody deer. Look, I keep seeing bloody deer everywhere. Driving me crackers. Well, it's not driving me crackers, it's quite nice actually. I've just got to find a bin to put my my fish packets in, because they're going to stink. Football's on at 5:30, and just want to get back for that. Some people are staying out tonight, can you believe that? I just can't do it. If there's something to catch, yeah, but yeah, alright, so we've had, I don't know, there's a food pike there. The aim of the video was for a rod review, so I hope I've sort of done that. My rod reviews are a bit sort of fly by your seat of your pants. I can't find a bin here anywhere. That's no bloody good, is it? Fucking marvellous. So yeah, it's you know, I pretty much just sort of go straight to the nuts and bolts about a rod, price, make, you know, length, what it can cast, how it sort of performs. And you can see I've had a food fish on there, so you can sort of see how it performs, this, that and the other. It's very light, I haven't weighed it. The rings are sort of, I mean, it might be reasonably good. I think they're called Seaguide. You know, it's a 60 quid rod, it's not a 200 quid rod. However, it strikes me as the sort of rod, it's from Abu, it strikes me as the sort of rod, it can get banged around quite a lot and it'll probably last you 30 years. It's one of them sort of rods. It's got plenty of power, it can set a hook, and that's it. That's all I can say about my my rod reviews, really. And what else? The reel seat is an aluminium one. It feels nice. It tightens up quite well. Had a fish on. I maybe had to tighten it up a little bit when I had the fish on, wondering if it was loose or not. The spigot, the join, goes in really smoothly, which is a real nice feeling. You can feel it sort of tightening up as you go down, so that's been really nicely done. It had one or two clatters and bangs. Had a few fish on. Yeah, it'd be a good bass rod, fishing lures, stray lining for bass, float fishing, all those sort of applications. Spinning for pike, dead baiting for pike. You can set a hook on that, no sweat. And salmon as well, if you're somewhere where you go after a salmon. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you like my rod reviews, and you know, the few fish we caught on there. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, me more along the way. All right, take care, and I will see you later. Hi everybody, this is a close-up of the rod, just so you can see the fittings in closer detail. So this particular rod is it's to mark the 100 years celebratory anniversary of Abu Garcia. So it just says on there it's an A100S 902M, so for medium. That's 9 foot. That's 15 to 45 gram. It's got a little 100 on there, like Abu. It's got a hook hold there, cork handle, aluminium reel seat. Then it's got twin tighteners there with like a gasket in the middle there, so it's pretty sort of effective. It's pretty tight. It's Seaguide reel rings, which are corrosion resistant. All right, so pretty robust. It reminds me of a rod which will probably sort of last you as long as you wanted it to. So you can see the detail there around the rings. The whipping is pretty damn good. It's got the old school sort of brown sort of coatings, which they used to, which the fiberglass ones used to sort of come in. And yeah, there's the reel. There's the spigot there. That guts goes on there really smooth. So it's not very sort of the graphic wise. It's not very what we got here. Like, it's got another little code there. It's got don't whack into pylons with it. And I've just used it today for the first time, and I think for 60 quid, which I paid for it, I had postage and packaging as well, but you could probably get it somewhere a little bit cheaper. I'll be brutally honest, for pike, bass and salmon, for setting the hook, that's perfect. That really is, and it's got plenty of power. There's tons of power there. You could probably go for the lighter version, if I'm brutally honest, but I'm not sure they do that in 9 foot. I think they do that in 8 foot. They do some other slightly variants to it as well. But yeah, that's the so there you go. That's the I've got some other pike. I took out today pike fishing as well, so there's some fish there I caught on it, so you can see what the action's like. Some of you might say it's a little bit stiff, but then again, you do have to set hooks if you're sort of with fish which have bony mouths like salmon and pike. So there you go. That's just a close-up of it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it didn't bore you to death too much, and hope you enjoyed the pike. All right, and I will catch you later.